Students, welcome to MBBS Online Lecture 2021. The topic for today's lecture is about the bones of lower limb. We have completed the section of upper limb. Now we are going to start with the bones. So let's get started. So I have this atlas in which we can see each and every bone with their characteristics and features. First of all, a brief overview with the bones. First one is the hip bone. As you can see in this picture, it's well described. It is the hip bone. Now, second bone is the femur, which is the largest bone of the body. Now, going down, we have the tibia, which is on the medial side, while another bone is fibula, which is on the lateral side of the body. Now in the foot region we have the talus bones and tarsal bones, metatarsal bones, phalanges. Now these are the bones of the upper limb. So let's get started with the hip bone and its features. Now first of all, you can see there is a hip bone. On upper side there is a iliac crest. This one hole is the iliac crest. On the anterior side we have the this one is the anterior side. We have anterior superior iliac spine, and then the anterior inferior iliac spine. This is the iliopubic eminence. As you can see here, this whole cavity is called acetabulum, where the femoral head attaches. Now the hip bone is divided into three bones. First one is the iliac bone. The whole one, upper one, is the iliac bone. The front one is the pubic bone, this one, and the posterior side it is ischium. We call ischial bone. Now on the posterior side we have the posterior superior iliac spine and the posterior inferior iliac spine. Down the posterior iliac spine we have the greater sciatic notch, from where our sciatic nerve passes. Now there is also ischial spine down the greater sciatic notch, and there is lesser sciatic notch. So this one is the greater, this one is the lesser. Now coming down to the ischial bone, we have this ischial tuberosity on the posterior side. We have this inferior pubic ramus, apart from pubic bone. This is the superior or pectineal line with a pubic tubercle. This is the iliac fossa, and on the other side there is a gluteal surface where the gluteus maximus, minimus. This is the anterior gluteal line, as you can see here. This one is whole is the gluteal surface. This one is the inferior gluteal line. So this one whole cavity is called the obturator foramen, from where obturator nerve and arteries passes through and supplies the medial side of the anterior thigh. So these arcuate line. So these were some typical features of a iliac bone, or we say a whole hip bone, because it is made up of three bones. First one is the iliac bone, second one is the pubic bone, this one is the pubic bone, and the posterior one is the ischial bone. We have also gone through these its features. This is also our iliac tuberosity and auricular surface. This is a surface where the iliac bone, our iliac bone articulate with the spine, or we say vertebral column. This is the surface. Auricular surface is the surface from where the iliac bone or articulates with our vertebrae. So this was the iliac bone. Now come to the femur. Now we'll isolate femur. So femur is the longest bone of the body. First of all, we'll start with the head. Femur has head, its neck and shaft, and lower is the two condyles. First we'll start with the head. We have a fovea where the ligamentum teres attaches to the femur. This is the fovea, this hollow notch you can see in this head. This is the fovea. This is the head of the femur. This is the neck of femur. This is greater intertrochanter line. First we'll start with the greater trochanter. This is the greater trochanter. This is the lesser trochanter. Now between these there is an intertrochanteric crest. Between two greater trochanter and lesser trochanter there is an intertrochanteric crest. So there is a pectineal line, there is a gluteal tuberosity where the gluteal maximus attaches to the femur. This is an intertrochanteric line. Okay, now come to the body or shaft of the femur. So first of all, it has three surfaces, three borders. First one is the anterior border. Second is the posterior border, and third one is the lateral border. Remember one thing, that the head of the femur will always be pointed towards the medial side of the body because it has to articulate with the acetabulum. So it always point to the medial side. So we can ensure that the femur is in right position. So there's three surfaces: anterior surfaces, lateral surface, and posterior surface. Now come to the lower portion of the femur. There is a two condyles which are more prominent. One condyle, there's a medial condyle, this is the lateral condyle. In both these, there is intercondylar fossa, mean between two condyles there is a groove we call intercondylar fossa. There is an intercondylar line. This is the popliteal surface. It marks or it makes the lower border or base of the popliteal fossa. We'll discuss popliteal fossa in next coming lectures. There is a supracondylar, medial supracondylar line. There is a lateral supracondylar line. There is a epicondyle, medial epicondyle. This one is a medial epicondyle. This one is a lateral epicondyle. This is the medial condyle. This is a lateral condyle. So remember one thing, that the popliteal surface and two condyles will always face towards the posterior side. So the anterior would be the patellar surface where the patella attaches. So we can now confirm that this is the bone of the right, because the femur head point toward the medial side, should point toward medial side, and two condyles would point posteriorly. So this is the right way to hold the femur bone. So this is the, we have discussed patellar surface. There is a epicondyle. This is a medial condyle. This is a lateral condyle. Between two condyles there is intercondylar fossa. There is a intercondylar line. There is a popliteal surface. So this was all about the femur. Now we'll come to the tibia. So tibia basically is a four leg, or we say bone of the leg, which present on the medial side of the body. It has two fossas, or we say facet, articular facets. Superior articular surface, or we say medial facet, or we can say the condylar fossa. This we can say medial condylar fossa. This is because the two condyles of the femur attach or articulate within these two facets. So between these two facets, there is an intercondylar eminence where there is also intercondylar area between the two condyles. So there is a medial lateral condylar of tibia, lateral condyle of tibia. There is a medial condyle of tibia. There is a tibial tuberosity. Tibial tuberosity is a hallmark that it will be important in determining the side determination of the tibia, because the tibial tuberosity always point towards the anterior side. Now on the posterior side, there is a facet for the articulation with the fibula. We say fibular articular facet. There is a soleal line. There is a nutrient foramen. Soleal line basically marks the ending of the soleus, which is a muscle. So oblique line, this is okay. Now come to the body. There is a anterior border, no anterior surface, just anterior border. There is a medial surface. There is a posterior surface with the lateral border and medial border. So there are also three surfaces and three borders. So first one is the anterior border, another one is the lateral border, and third one is the medial border. And there are three surfaces. The surface on the medial side is called medial surface, this one. On the posterior side it's called posterior surface, and on the medial side this is called medial surface. Now come to the lower side of the tibia. We have this malleolus which points towards the medial side, so we call it medial malleolus. It always points towards the medial side of the body, so it will be helpful in determining the side of the tibia. So we can confirm that this is the bone of the right, because the tibial tuberosity always point toward the anterior side, and the medial malleolus will point toward the medial side of the body. So there are some of the characteristic and features. This is the articular facet for medial malleolus and inferior articular surface. There is a facet for the articulation of fibula. We say fibular notch. So that was the feature for the tibia. Now come to the fibula. Now fibula has a head and a tail with the body between it. It's also a long bone of the body. There is articular facet for tibia where the fibula articulates with the tibia. There is a head of fibula. There is an apex. Apex is a cony surface on upper border of the tibia. We say apex. There is a head of tibia. There is a neck of fibula. There is a posterior surface. There is a medial surface, and there is a medial crest. There is a posterior border, anterior border, and lateral surface. So see, these were the sides of the tibia. Now come to the lateral malleolus. In tibia we have seen that there was a medial malleolus which point toward the medial side, but in fibula there is a medial malleolus which point toward the lateral side, so it will be helpful in determining the side of fibula. There is an articular facet or articular surface for lateral malleolus. It will articulate with the tibia here and form the lower or inferior tibiofibular or distal tibiofibular joint. There is a malleolus fossa. So these were the features of the tibia. Now there are some tarsal bones. These one are the tarsal bones. First one is the upper one is the talus, lower is the calcaneus, there is a cuboid, navicular, and 3 cuneiforms, medial, lateral, and middle cuneiforms. So these are the tarsal bones, while metatarsal bones are this one, first metatarsals, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Now these are the phalanges. So that's all for this lecture. We have discussed briefly about every bone features of the lower limb. In next lecture, we will be discussing some muscles of the muscle starting from the iliac fossa and iliac hip bone, coming towards the eye, then leg, then muscles of the foot. So if you like this video, share it with your friends and like and subscribe the channel. We'll see you in next video. Thank you.